Yes, people, welcome back to Thai Sports, where Chelsea have dropped points at Brentford. A staggering end to the game when Moises Caideo thought he had won it for the Blues, but the West London Bees in Brentford said, not today, not with the new manager Keith Andrews, and Fabio Carvalho scores a last-minute equaliser to steal the points away from Chelsea and get a draw, which, well, I must say, they deserved the draw because it was a great West London derby. But the questions remain about Chelsea. This is why I say they will fall short when it comes to the Premier League. People said dark horses, this and that, because they won the Club World Cup. And I understand it and I respect it and I see where the shouts are coming from. But I'm sorry, they are not ready to win a Premier League because these are the type of games that you have to win. We done a show on my other channel, Never a Foul, and we said that tonight against Brentford, who are not in the full flow of things of Keith Andrews, they've lost Vissa, they've lost Mbumo. They're not the same Brentford as what they were under Thomas Frank. This team should be beating Brentford on a Saturday night under the lights and getting themselves up the Premier League table. But you can see the way Enzo Maresca felt after that final whistle went. He was like, that is 2 points done from us. That feels like a loss. Cole Palmer walking down like with his head low. Because games like that, they know they should be winning. Look, I have all respect for Brentford. I love that they're a solid Premier League club. And as a neutral, it was entertaining and they fought all the way to the death and, got a draw out of the game. But when you look at it from a Chelsea perspective, which is what I'm talking about, you have to be winning. You have to be winning. You have to be seeing out the game. When Moises Caideo pulls out a moment like that from the edge of the box, you have to be seeing it out. You was on top in the second half. You had your big hitters on in the second half. Cole Palmer was on the pitch. Your big signing Garnacho was on the pitch. Caicedo was there. Enzo was there. Reece James was there. Cucurella was there. There were players on the pitch that should be good enough to see it out. But you concede from a poor throw-in, a set piece effectively. A throw-in comes in, doesn't get cleared, doesn't get dealt with, and Fabio Carvalho is there at the back post to tap it in. Another big mistake. Why is he free at the back post like that? The basics, the art, you fight until the end, until the final whistle, and you have to stay concentrated. This is the Premier League, and the smallest margins can be the difference between winning, losing, and drawing. And today, that small margin there, that throw-in, not winning the first ball, allowing Carvalho to get to the back post and get the second ball, there you go. At the end of the day, that has now cost Chelsea 2 points. And again, they're falling more behind Liverpool, who probably beat Burnley tomorrow. Arsenal, who won today. And at the end of the day, this is why I say about Chelsea, let's manage the expectations on them, because I think they're a good team. I'm not going to discredit them. I think they're a good team. They've got some very good players, but their aim is top four. So stick with that aim. Their aim is top four. As a fan, you want to be optimistic. You want to believe that, yeah, we could potentially get into that title race. But I'm sorry, there's levels to this. You see in tennis, if any of you lot watch tennis, if you don't, I'm going to tell you. So at the moment, you've got Carlos Alcaraz and you've got Yannick Sinner. And then you've got Djokovic, and then you've got the rest below that. So it's like the 1 and 2, Djokovic on his own in third, and then you've got the fourth and down below all competing. Arsenal and Liverpool are Sinner and Alcaraz. That's how I look at it this season. Them two are the two teams that are going to be there come in the middle of April with 5 games to go. I don't see Manchester City being quite there. I think they're going to be that team in third. And I don't see Chelsea being able to they might be able to chase Man City actually with third. So I look at the top two though. Arsenal and Liverpool are Sinner and Alcaraz. And there's a gap. There's a gap to the rest. And that's how it is in this Premier League. So for me, Chelsea are not going to be in that title race. They're going to fall short, but they will be competing for top 4, which should be their aim. That should be their aim, because realistically, when you look at their squad, how many leaders and match winners and experienced people are there? There's not. We can even look at it today. This is their starting 11 today. Jarrell Hatto, very talented player from Ajax. Respect to him. He's going to have a good career, but first time playing in the Premier League. Chalobah. We know Chalobah's a good squad player, but he's not going to guide you to a Prem. Adebayo, tossing, good player at Fulham, solid Premier League defender, but he's not levels. You got Fofana playing at right back, in and out from injury, not being able to find his rhythm yet. Shouldn't be probably playing at right back, if I'm totally honest with you. Then you got Fernandes and Caicedo, who are the staple of Chelsea in that midfield. I respect them. World Cup winner, Caicedo, brilliant. Then you've got Buonanotte. He started today in the 10 role, just signed from Brighton. But you can see the levels when you play for Brighton and what the expectations are. You're coming to Chelsea. First game, I understand it's going to be tough off the international break as well. Not much time to find rhythm with your players. But him, Gittins, I'm sorry, just not good enough. They're not good enough. They're good enough to be professional footballers, of course, and be in that Chelsea squad. And I understand the talent and potentially the potential of why they've signed them. But if you want to be winning the league and trying to compete, I don't know if they're the guys right now. Gittins, a good season for Dortmund, but not loads of experience. Buonanotte, different level of expectation when you're wearing that Chelsea shirt. Pedro Neto has been consistent for Chelsea, to be fair. He gives you a 7 out of 10. You know what Pedro Neto does. And Yao Pedro got the assist for the Palmer, the goal with the header. And Pedro gives you that flair, that creativity. But I know he played for Brazil in the international break. But, apart from Yao Pedro, Pedro Neto's obviously, you could say there. Caicedo, Fernandez, Fofana if he's fully fit, but he's not. I look at that and I'm looking at that team now and saying, look, I'm picking 4 players from that starting 11 for Chelsea Football Club against Brentford that I'm like, okay, I trust, I believe in. You're going to a West London derby team in terms of Brentford, and I can fully have confidence that you guys are going to stand up and be counted for. The rest is kind of like a hope situation. You want them to play well. Oh, I'm excited that he's going to start. I wonder how he'll do. But if you want to be trying to challenge for the title, you don't want to be really hoping and wishing. And unfortunately, that's what Chelsea did tonight, and they didn't get their wishes because Buonanotte wasn't great. Gittins was not great. Gerald Hatt was adjusting to the Prem. I think he's a very talented player, but he wasn't amazing, of course. And Fofana, you saw the difference when Reece James came on, a natural right back, the best right back in the league. And Chelsea were on Brentford in that second half. That second half was a completely different game to the first half. It was basically it was 70-30 basically Chelsea in that second half. They were dominating, they were having chances. Cole Palmer came on, had 4 shots in the space of 10 minutes. He made a difference. But you can see the difference in Chelsea when they've got their main players on the pitch and to their squad players. And that is where you might fall short because over the season, you're going to be in the Champions League now. You're going to need depth. And that's why I understand you've got the youngsters, you've got the depth and stuff like that. But that depth can take you only so far because I think what might be the missing thing for Chelsea is they've got depth, but it's the quality there. And I think that's where Arsenal have kind of upgraded this summer. They've had Mikel Merino, Gabriel Jesus, and Kai Havertz playing up front. They went out and got Gyökeres. Gyökeres can score goals. That's what they want him to do, score goals. He done it again against Nottingham Forest today. Eze, they needed a creative player to play alongside Odegaard or play instead of Odegaard. They got Eze, one of the best players in the league, Premier League proven. You went out and got a midfielder to replace Thomas Partey. You got European 2024 winner, Zubimendi. Scores 2 goals today, but we know he's got the guile, technical ability. He comes in and he's immediate starter. They've signed 3 immediate starters, but yes, they add him to the squad. Noni Madueke, a player they signed from Chelsea. Chelsea could have probably done with him today, if I'm honest, the way he started this season. But, deputy for Saka. But when Saka's not there already, he's standing up and being counted for. And again, another good display against Nottingham Forest. So when you're looking at Mosquera coming in for Saliba, 21 years of age, looks like it might be the bargain of the year. When you look at the squad that Arsenal have got, you're looking at it and you're thinking, yeah, that's proper. It's probably the best Arsenal squad they've had in years. And that's why they're ready to challenge. And look, I'm not trying to bash Chelsea and say they're a poor team. I'm just saying, let's be real with the expectations now. They've drawn against Crystal Palace at home and they've drawn with Brentford away. They've beaten West Ham, which a lot of teams would be beating West Ham at the moment. And then they got a win against Fulham where some people say that game was a bit, some decisions went their way. So when you're looking at it and the balance of things, Chelsea haven't really set off this season. So there are questions to be answered. Maresco has got things to tweak and he's got to get his best team out there because they go to Manchester United next weekend, 5:30 on a Saturday night, and they need to get back to winning ways. And Man United, I'm sure, are going to be trying to get that win because they're playing at Old Trafford in front of their crowd at 5:30. So when you look at it again today, that was 2 points dropped from Chelsea. They done well to stick in there because Brentford started well. But when you go 2-1 up with 10 minutes to go, I'm sorry, if you're any team like Liverpool, Arsenal, yes, even Manchester United, Man City, Newcastle, you want to be seeing out the game when you've got your experienced players on the pitch, and Brentford have made changes and they're tired. But these little lapses of concentration, these little 2 points drop all add up. And that is why Chelsea will be in a top 4 race and not winning the league. It's just little things like that. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments about Chelsea's display today and their aspirations for the season. I still think they're on course to finish in the top 4. I still think they'll be there. No problem. They'll win some big games this season. But I think that's why, when it comes to Chelsea in the dark horse title race and stuff, calm down, man. Calm down. Guys, like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.